ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Spoiler Alert Christmas edition. This is one of the last videos that I'm doing for the year. Well, maybe I'll do one right on New Year's Eve. I might get to that one, not sure yet. But this is going to be the last one, maybe two videos that you guys get for the holiday seasons. So yeah, it is pretty much Christmas. If it's not Christmas Day, it is pretty darn close because I'm not sure when I'm putting out all these videos. I'm still rearranging them. I just got the Christmas Vacation one put on there, so now I'm working on the Polar Express. Now, the thing is, I am not going to watch the Polar Express. I've seen it before. I think a lot of you guys have, and it's almost as long, if not, I think a little bit longer than the Griswold's Christmas Vacation. So that took me forever, and to get through all the copyright garbage, well, yeah, it just takes a lot out of you. So I will just simply review this one by memory, and we are going to talk about something that is kind of odd, but it's called the Uncanny Valley. The Uncanny Valley is when a movie or thing has this human-like look to it, but there's something not quite right about it. It has that, I believe the movie is called Us quality to it, kind of a creepy version of what a human should be, kind of if AI or an alien came to Earth and said, how am I supposed to act? What do these people do? And they kind of act very strangely. This movie kind of has that, not so much in tone, but in so much texture. Being the facial structures of the characters, they're close to human, but there's something just a little bit off. I know that in the behind the scenes stuff, you get a lot of face mapping. A lot of the characters are based off of Tom Hanks. So they did the dot mapping thing with the face cam right there, so they could get the muscle works and the structures of his face while he talks, to get that kind of human expression, which is kind of jarring in a cartoon, but that doesn't say anything about the movie itself. It's just one of the bigger complaints of the movie that I've heard, is that the characters look close to human but creepily not. So, and that's what the Uncanny Valley is basically anytime that something's not quite right. So, yeah, the movie itself is good. It's about a little boy who is having doubts about his belief in Santa Claus, and so he starts looking up things like the North Pole, and it says that it's desolate and deserted and barren, and there's nothing really there. He looks up Santa, and it says something like it's made up, and it's just he finds more and more reasons to not believe. Then he goes to bed. He rips this little pocket in his night coat and goes down, and there's this big train that comes in, and it's the Polar Express. Now, this is a very fun movie, especially if you're a younger audience. The Uncanny Valley stuff, it does sometimes take you out of it, but if you can look past that and look at it from just a storytelling point of view, it's a very good story. It's basically about, keeping that Christmas spirit, keeping the belief of this thing that you cannot see in the in your mind still. So it comes down to it that we have this little journey and adventure through the Polar Express where this little boy, um, kind of has to go through these motions of, I don't even believe what's going on right now. I feel like I'm just dreaming. And so they go through these little adventures like they stopped the train because the little boy couldn't get on because he decided to finally get on the train, but he couldn't run fast enough, so they hit the brakes. They had to go on top of the train where this homeless guy is suddenly appears, and I believe he is the ghost of the train or the ghost of Christmas, maybe just Christmas itself, one of the ghost of Christmas something or others. He's just this hobo that is on top of the train, but he also shows this little boy kind of in a almost Christmas Carol way that he is losing his Christmas faith, his belief in like the real like meaning of Christmas, which is more so giving than it is like Santa Claus, but like it's making him just a jaded kid. Um, and he's losing his belief, which is a strong, strong system in this whole movie for him is him believing in Santa Claus, which could be an allegory for many things. So, moving on from that, which that character was kind of a darker character, but it's more of a grounded character, especially in a kids movie, or a family movie, if you will. Moving on from that, we have the conductors, and they have their little parts. This movie was definitely made for 3D because of some of the scenes that you get, which I guess I was pretty young when this one came out. So it's still kind of held up. If it was in a 3D movie theater, I wouldn't mind seeing it in 3D again. Um, just going through those motions, but it's kind of a interesting ride, literally. There's this scene where they go up a hill and then go down a hill, but you're like in the like camera view of the person. It's like a GoPro version where you're like on the tracks and it's going up and down and around and around, and it's very made for for 3D. So, but that's just another little fun bit of the ride that you get with the story. Um, and then they get little held up and the ice is breaking when they're trying to cross this lake, and there's a ticket that's missing, and we go through that little journey, and there's a lot of little like side stories that add to the story. And then everyone gets this ticket, and there's different letters that the conductor punches into their ticket, and they're like, I don't know what this means until the very end when they get to go home, and everyone gets a ticket word that's basically their personality or what they learned while they were on this little adventure, which I thought was pretty cool. There's this scene where all the kids are hearing these bells, but the main character can't hear them, and so we go through this little process of him not being able to hear the bells because he doesn't believe that Santa's real, even though he's been on a train and in the North is now in the North Pole. The whole thing is him not believing. So it's funny because then he goes and sees Santa Claus, and Santa gives him a bell, and he rings it and he doesn't hear it, but then he looks up at Santa and he rings it again and he starts hearing it, and then he starts hearing the sleigh bells on the deer and everyone shaking their bells and stuff. And that's kind of an allegory of him getting his belief back, which is kind of a fun, way of doing things. And then you get, he goes back home, wakes up, his coat is broken, he loses the bell, but then he gets a package random from somebody. It says Santa on it. So, and then it's the bell, and he can hear it. But then the parents are like, "Oh, geez, it's broken. I'm sorry, honey." So the parents don't believe in Santa. The sister can hear it, and then there's this little story where Tom Hanks is explaining, that over the years, his sister slowly stopped hearing the bell ring, and then, but he always still heard the bell.
At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. The bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.
So it's kind of like he was the one who didn't lose his belief. So it's a good movie. It's definitely one that I would say go and see if you can get it on. I think it's on certain streaming platforms right now. You can always pick it up on DVD. You can actually probably get it in the bargain bin because it's so old now, but it's definitely one that I would suggest watching if you want a good holiday Christmas movie. It's one worth the watch. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this video and getting this far into it. Thank you to all of my subscribers for sticking with me. If you guys want to subscribe to this channel and see more videos like this and other ones, go ahead and hit this little button right here. If you want to see another Christmas movie, I will tag one right up here for you. And thank you guys all again for getting this far in the video. Really appreciate all of my subscribers, and I will see you next time. Peace.